start stream. Oh, where's my chat? Chat. Here we go. Hi, Waffles. Hey. Oh my god, why is that dog always... Anyway. Hi. I look disheveled and tired because I always am. How's everyone else doing? It snowed here. Which is hilarious because, like, not even last week when I was outside, I was like, hey, Mother Nature, you have the opportunity to do something really funny. And it would just be like snow 3 feet. It was like, you know what? And then she was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. That's funny. And then it didn't snow 3 feet, but it did snow. Which is hilarious. You know, no one needs me. Until I hit go live, and then suddenly I swear to God, every time, like, nothing could be happening. No one could be around. Y'all just saw my full ass right there. I'm sorry about that. Like, not a damn thing could be happening. The second I'm like, okay, everything's quiet, everything's calm. Go live. Like, the cat wants in, dogs start barking. It's like they sense the electromagnetic pulses of the live stream and just go, whee! Hey guys, like the mug? Hang on, can y'all see? Yeah, y'all can see the mug. Look. It's really cool. I got it from Spirit of Halloween. It says dead inside on the rim. I'd show you guys, but it's full of stuff. So she was whining because she couldn't comfortably jump off the couch without sliding into the table. I figured that's why, but I just hit go live.
I just picked up the pillow that was on the arm and she jumped down just fine.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, why did you whining?
Yeah, so we got quirky dogs. Anyway. We're just gonna get started, cause we got a lot of work to do. It snowed yesterday here, it's gone already, but it's weird. That is quite humorous. I thought I had a sneeze coming, and then it turned out to not be a sneeze. So a little behind the scenes, not a sneak peek, what am I talking about? A little behind the scenes. I won't be glancing over at the second monitor anymore, because I figured out how I can have everything fit on my screen without having to, constantly look like I'm not paying attention. Which is why I got in trouble at school. Because it looked like I wasn't paying attention, but I assure you I was. face. You see my cat? Yeah. You just wanted in for a minute to have food. Don't mind me as I open the gates of heaven. Go on. Don't get me wrong. I love cats. I just can't stand them most of the time. And yes, the hoodie is quite accurate. I am a crazy shark lady. As basic as it is, I've got the shark autism. I love sharks. So much so that dolphins freak me out. Like, I'm not kidding. Dolphins freak me out. And I think it's because I love sharks so much. Dolphins, porpoises, specifically orcas. I've said this before on stream. I fear no man, but that thing scares me. You decided you wanted to make a character design today that doesn't suck. Congrats. Characters all look the same, such refresher of you know, a lot of references. Oh. Congrats. A lot of my characters end up looking the same because it's like, I want to make a character based on this fan thing that I really like, but I just end up repeating the same design. This is wait, hang on. Terenry. Terenry? Terenry? Yeah. Or do I pronounce the E with the R or the E with the T? Like T-Renry or Terenry? Or not at all. Another. God bless these internet YouTubers, but God help me, I don't know how to pronounce half their names. That was a spoiler. I shall add them to my list. I went down a rabbit hole this past week of just watching movie review channels. Not all of them, because most of them piss me off. Most movie review channels just piss me off. For no reason other than they're just pretentious assholes. But some of them, especially the one, you know, I watched a lot of people talk about the Jurassic Park movies. And just good old monster movies. Like, Pointless Hub just showed up on my recommended. I was like, you know what, I'll watch his videos. And he's really funny. Very chill. And then I just had this terrible thought of being like, you know what? If I were to become a VTuber, she'd be like a failed movie director slash screenwriter that started out as the starry-eyed little hopeful naive child that wanted to make it big in Hollywood, but then she became jaded over the years, and now all her movie reviews are specifically talking about why studio interference just ruins the artistic vision of creators, and if you're going to go independent, try, you know, or like from a world, it would be like from a world building standpoint, why some movies are good and some movies just absolutely suck. But then I'm sitting here, like, conceptual, like, here's how bad the hyperfixation was. I designed her. I designed, or working on a design for a potential VTuber, and I'm like, oh god, I can hardly handle... What the hell is that noise? Oh, it's just water dripping. I can hardly handle having this Twitch channel and a YouTube channel that I don't even post on, and working on this series. So, what in the hellion makes me think I can handle... Is the background? Yeah, it is. Being a VTuber. So... But, I mean, when that hyperfixation hits, man, you're gone. I'm gone. So, like, half of last week and the beginning of this week just did not exist for me. I just got here. I also learned a lot of cool trivia about my, some of my favorite movies and some of my least favorite movies. I learned some trivia and I'm like, oh, that's why I hated them. That makes sense now. I'm also thinking, you know, a part of me wants to do movie reviews, but another part of me is like, why would I spend all of my time, energy, and research to make movie review videos when I can just make my content that I want to make, you know, when I can just make the comic or write the movie that I have in mind. But then I was like, what are my credentials? And I actually do like writing, or like, you know, participating in the movie review sphere. But at the same time, I'm just, you know, I gave up my aspirations of being a movie review YouTuber to become a movie director. I think that'd be really funny. Be like, oh, what did you want to be when you grew up? Oh, I wanted to be a YouTuber, but I gave up my aspirations of as a... Oh my god, what's going on with my chat? Hang on. What is going on? Oh my god. I'm so sorry that happened. I forgot. Hang on. Hang on. I just... There we go. I tried to get my YouTube chat up for when I was streaming, and it didn't work. Didn't work, so I have 2 chat windows now. It's the opposite for you. So badly to make someone realize, deleted and stopped the subscription for CapCut. Oh boy, I hate it so much. If there is an editing software I don't want to recommend, it's CapCut. Yep. With every fiber being, I tell everyone that CapCut should die in a fire next to Adobe. Oh, have you heard? Adobe is shutting down their animation program. That sucks. I don't use Adobe, so it doesn't personally affect me, but I do know a lot of people use Adobe. Same with like a lot of my favorite YouTubers, like Let Me Explain Studios. She hasn't made a video in a while, but you know, she's busy. But she uses Adobe, and I'm like, oh my god. I'll never complain about Movavi again. Until the next time I have to use it. Which, speaking of, I want to make a video on my channel. That's the wrong. Yeah, that's wrong. Oh, wait. Oop. And I kind of want the video to talk about, like, okay, so you haven't given up. You almost did, but you've decided to not give up yet. How do you come back from that? How do you come back from basically the brink of a creative meltdown? And I'm not sure if it's gonna be like an advice video, but it's more gonna be like me just opening the discussion, because I'm still struggling with that. Like, okay, you just had a life-altering experience and almost made a decision that would have changed your life forever. What do you do now? How do you return to this, to your, you know, to where you were before? Can you return to the status quo? Does the status quo even fit anymore? Because, I mean, as much as you'd like to go back to the life you had before, the life you had before led you to your breaking point. So what needs to change? And I haven't scripted it yet, because, like I said, I was down a rabbit hole, and I think I finally crawled my way back out. So I wanted to talk about that, because I have not really had any ideas for YouTube in a long time. And the YouTube ideas I have had were for, like, other projects, or like, start fresh, new channel, leave everything behind. But it's like, I just built this channel. I just came back from the brink. What now? Your animation project is called Calipeg? It's called what now? Calipeg, with 3 layers, 10-second animation on low pixel ratio, better aspect. Huh. I've never heard of that. These aren't reading glasses, these are just screen glasses, and I realized my vision isn't as great. I had glasses before, but then my glasses broke, and then I didn't have insurance, so I was like, you know what, do I really need glasses? I mean, come on. Oh my god, that is so smudgy. So, yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. While also trying to, you know, like, the show must go on. Because I still have this comic, and that was never in question. I was never going to quit making my stuff. That was never on the table. What was in question, however, was just how I was going to continue. Not that. Even though, you know, a part of me was like, what's the point of starting my, continuing my artistic projects when the world's about to end. That type of nihilistic bullshit. I've had that feeling since 2020. I am not kidding. I've had that feeling since 2020 that I'm like, you know what? Why should I even bother getting started on, a YouTube channel when the apocalypse is about to happen? We're on the brink of a systemic collapse. Like, I should be doing, I don't know what, but I should be doing it. But of course, I've slowly come to realize that my anxiety doesn't just come from, like, separation anxiety. It's also just straight up paranoia. Like, I'm a paranoid person, and I didn't realize that about myself. Like, I knew I was anxious, I just didn't realize how paranoid I was. Turns out I'm very paranoid, but also very dismissive. And I'm like, I know nothing lasts forever, so I'm just waiting for the other shoe to fall. That's all I've kind of been doing, really. Well, I started. 2020 is when I started. Like, I was just waiting for the other shoe to fall. Just waiting for the other shoe to fall. And then by 2022 or something, it's like, okay, no other shoe. I guess we can get started. And that's, when I just dove into YouTube and then I had a different kind of mental breakdown, and then, and then now it's happening, so I'm like, oh great, here we go again. Aw shit, here we go again. When's the other shoe gonna fall? And it hasn't fallen yet. I can feel it. Like, here's the thing, I feel it coming. Like, in my bones, I feel it. Obligatory it, coming. It as in, like, the systemic collapse, the apocalypse, when America finally bites the dust. I'm just waiting. Sitting here waiting. It's like, when's it gonna happen? A lot of people say it's gonna happen. And I can kind of see it. It's coming. We're on the brink. Where is it? And then it never happens. So it's just like, what the fuck? I've had my life on pause, basically, since 2020. And I'm getting real sick of it. So I'm wondering, it's like, you know what? Why not? Why don't I just do the things that I want to do? Why don't I just live as if the world intends to spin on until such a moment? Yeah, but then I'm not prepared. But then I have to leave everything behind. But then I've, like, wasted my time dedicating my life to something that ultimately isn't going to matter. But then it's like, that's life? The fact that you live it is what matters, not the fact that it means anything in the end, because what it means in the end is that it meant something to you. That's life. You don't have to leave a legacy, even though that would, like, the school I went to, my senior year, or, like, their whole mission statement was leave a legacy, and they, like, pounded it into our heads. You have to leave a legacy behind for other people to follow. You have to be a trailblazer. You have to be a leader. And then it's just, now that I'm graduated, I'm chewing my leg off in the corner. Because I forgot one of the first and most important lessons of life given to us by J.R. Tolkien. It is no evil thing to celebrate a simple life. Coming from a man who is, who was a two-time military veteran and wrote Lord of the Rings, and had one hell of a life, actually. Yeah. It is no evil thing to celebrate a simple life. Is this being recorded? Yes, it is. I just can't see on the whiteboard. Yeah, you might need glasses. Anyway. To peek into my mind. Into my misery. I honestly should journal more. It's just whenever I sit down to write in my journal, it's like, what do I write? Because I have to be poetic and flowery. Because I'm naturally a writer, so it's like, if I hand this journal off to a therapist one day, where they can help me, you know, actually process my complex emotions, like, I want them to give a peek into my mind. And I can't just write some basic bitch shit. I ain't no basic bitch. Oh my fucking god. I'm on the wrong layer. Christ on a bike. I need to calm down. There we go. Enjoy your high school years while you can. Because it doesn't get any better, Dick. It does. I have to keep telling myself that it does get better, because if I don't, I'll just give up. What? Responsibility? Ew! What do you mean the fate of my entire nation rests on my shoulders because I'm a citizen and a vote, and like, I need to vote and let my voice be heard when I just want to live through today? What do you mean that's all my fault? The economy? Oh no! I'm not a stockbroker at Wall Street. That ain't my job. I'm on the wrong layer again. I'm trying to not be depressing or depressed when, you know, when live streaming. I swear I was fine before I started, but then I was like, you know, how are you doing? And then I actually think about how I'm doing, and I'm like, actually, I'm not doing okay. Holy shit, I'm not doing okay. And then it's like, okay, what do I do with that information? I don't know. What do I do with that information? Journal? Okay, but, I'm a little busy right now. I just hit go live. Quit. Pretend everything's okay. Oh, big news for the unemployed. Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 just dropped, like, today. I didn't realize before I hit go live, totally forgot to bring that up, that, that was going on. So, I honestly do not expect anyone to show up for this live stream. I didn't expect anyone to show up for this live stream because of that. I'm not a huge, like, Poppy Playtime fan, but I know a lot of people are. So it's like, hey, you know what, if that's your autism, go ahead. The gameplay itself for Poppy Playtime for me is so boring, but the lore involved with Poppy Playtime is just the amount of fucked that I really like in a horror game. Like, come on, gimme. Gimme. Like, I'm a Jurassic Park fan. Of course I love fucked up, like, science experiments on innocent creatures and the scientists get absolutely messed up by their creation. Like, I love that. I love when they face the consequences of their actions. I love it so much. Yes, innocent people still do get hurt, but still. Like, in the book, John Hammond gets annihilated by compies, I think. He gets disemboweled. Your government raised the retirement age to 71. Is so... Yeah, I think America has that too. We either have that or it was proposed. I don't know. If they do raise the retirement age, it's just gonna suck. Like, don't they realize that once you're 70, your mind and body have kinda just checked out? Like, Elvis has left the building at that point. Not that people over 70 are incognizant or are, like, incapable of working, but why would you want to? You're 71 years old. Rest. You know? You've done enough. And that's not in, like, in a bad way. That's in a, hey, you've earned it. Go rest. Enjoy spending time with the grandkids if you have them. Spend time with your partners. Go hang out with friends. Be a kid again. Honestly, being old is for being a kid again. I mean, you get a bunch of discounts, you get to get away with bad behavior, adults keep telling you to stop running into traffic. You get to be a kid again. Yeah, imagine if someone has a very physical job. Yeah, like my dad. My dad is in his 60s. And he's ready to retire, like, this year he's going to retire. Because he's a welder. Man, his job has taken so much out of him. And I do see the signs. And he sees it too. The signs of his mental state declining. But I mean, what do you expect? The guy's had like 3 concussions. I'm surprised he hasn't gone sooner. But it is getting more and more noticeable when talking to him. It's like, oh no. That's a weird feeling when you're talking to your parents and you can just hear or like feel and see the age catching up with them, and you just like stand there for a moment and go, oh no, and it's just faced with mortality. You're like, oh, okay, well, oh boy, here we go. But, you know, I'm glad he's retiring. He's gonna enjoy his retirement. I know that for a fact. He's still gonna work because, you know, we live on... I don't want to say a farm because that gives the wrong idea. We live on a... I also don't want to say a homestead, but, you know, we're gonna start our own garden this year, and we raise chickens. We raise chickens. We have a lot of land. We have all that, so he's gonna finally have all the time to do all the home repair that he wanted to get around to. You know, and like we're gonna start being more self-sufficient. So, still gonna have plenty to do, but it's not gonna be, you know, wake up at 4 in the morning just so you can drive to work, and at 6 and deal with Jim Bob and Billy Bob and Jim Joe all the time. That's me saying dumb hicks. I'm just wondering about, you know, like my generation and our like physicality, because like we were getting sore and feeling like we had old man joints before I even graduated. There were days where we just felt like garbage, and that was like me and my classmates. And then we hear the older people be like, oh, you're too young to feel that sort of thing. Or, when I was your age, I never felt sore a day in my life. I was like, well, were you weightlifting in class? Were you playing a highly intensive physical sport like football? Like, I didn't play football, but I did work out in the gym because we had to. It was a class. It was you know... We needed X amount of electives just to graduate. Did you wake up every day feeling like you wanted to just lay down and die somewhere and not care? Then the older generation's like, yeah, that was called the Great Depression. Sit lazy and bitch, my back is hurting, I'm worried. Been told by a lot of other adults, man, your generation and kids your age, they just slouch all the time. It's like, yeah, 'cause we got the weight of the world on our shoulders. It's our job to fix everything your generation fucked up. So yeah, we're gonna be a little bit snarky. We're gonna be a little short-tempered. Like, I'm not gonna give a damn about your stupid HOA violations when there's a fucking hole in the ozone. Thankfully, it has gotten a little bit smaller over the years. Given that people have been more conscious about it. But it's still... Our government has proved that it does not care about the civilians or its people. It just cares about maintaining control. So... what if we all just stopped caring? What if we all decided that we weren't gonna play their game anymore? It's not that my generation is lazy. It's that my generation can see the pattern. A lot of people my age have read the files. We're the most, I think, given the past 2 years, my generation and slight generations older have been the most politically conscious we have in our lives. So, yeah, we're gonna slouch in our chairs a little bit because we just read that insert CEO of whatever big tech company that has monopolized the entire nation is a predator. Excuse us for being, slightly alcoholic. Or having just a little less hope for the future. That would be amazing, but I'd rather just lay in bed. Yeah, just let me die, honestly. Just let me die. I just said this wasn't going to be the depressing stream. Like, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to pull myself up from my bootstraps and just keep chugging along, but I can feel myself just marching towards oblivion. I'm not a nihilist in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I'm quite optimistic. I know what needs to be done. But I know it's not gonna be done. You know? Like, a very simple regime change wouldn't fix everything, but would at least get us on the right path to start fixing things. It's a very simple process of just punishing corporations for being greedy and not following, the laws regarding child labor and being, environmentally conscious. It's a simple process of punishing them for being greedy and, actually holding them accountable. But who's gonna do it? Me? Oh shit, that means I have to run for president. I don't want to do that. I don't have the money. But it's your choice, so I wanted to... Yeah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not having a mental breakdown. I had that a few weeks ago. So other than all that, I'm actually doing great. Everything's going to shit, so I'm gonna draw some cats. Yeah, I'm on a different layer. Like my mom always says, life's a bitch and then you die. Oh well. You know what, for the hell of it, I might as well just start that movie review. It's gonna be one of those things. It's gotta be one of those things where it's like, you know what? Fuck it. No, why don't we just do things for the hell of it now? I mean, that's what I've been saying that for years. Nothing is stopping you from doing things just for the hell of it, but, income tax and whatnot. I don't want to say real life sucks, because real life, like the average everyday, does not suck. In fact, it's great. just regular lives are fine. I love it. Loving every minute of it. It's just, you know, the things that we've accepted as normal everyday life aren't real, you know? Like what I was saying, like HOAs. That is artificial life. That's not real. Like, I know this sounds crazy, but what I'm saying is the 9 to 5 corporate cubicle job grind that, like, most society, it's just, you know, modern society is centered around, is a completely artificial construct, and it's not an accurate reflection of what life really is. So of course it's soul crushing. Of course it, you know, gets you stuck in a loop of just doing the same thing every day with little to no change, but, you know, always the promise of something more on the horizon, you know, because it's not real. it's just not a true representation of life. But it's been so ingrained into people's minds that this is what life is. When they're finally faced with true, like, what life really is, they see it as, like, this act of rebellion. This strange opportunity that is like a once-in-a-lifetime presentation, but it's like, no, it's actually happens every day all around you. You've just been specifically conditioned not to see it as a possibility for yourself. Even the people that are living the high life, you know, they're following their passion, they're being self-sufficient, they're, you know, they're just living their best life. Even they can sometimes feel the corporate guilt of not contributing to the machine. Like, you know, being a member of society. And it's like, this is not actual life. This is not real community. I don't want, if that's your best won't do. So it's nothing, you know, following your passion has been treated as such a weird thing that, like, it's like, oh, you get to live your dream job? Wow, you must be so lucky to have that opportunity. It's like, you know, if we all just collectively decided that life is about passion and not capitalism, because that's what it boils down to, capitalism, I think depression would just go, it wouldn't just go away, because, you know, chronic depression, that's still a thing. But, you know, life finds a way. Life as we know it would change because people would actually be living the lives they want. And they wouldn't be living in fear of, you know, the next paycheck. But of course, you know, the world, we are taught, can't function on an economy of passion. But that makes me question the validity of that statement, because who says that it can't? The ones in power? Of course they would say something like that, because people living lives happily and being content challenges their control. So this is where my paranoia comes in, and this is where my, you know, my stick it to the man mentality. start showing. So I'm wondering if I'm onto something or if I'm wearing tinfoil. It's hard to see the tinfoil on your head when you're looking, heavenward. That's where a lot of my self-doubt also comes into play, because I'm like, am I onto something or am I just crazy? Because a lot of people would say I'm crazy. A lot of people had said I'm crazy. I was voted most likely to go insane in my high school class. Thanks, guys. But I'm wondering, like, how long before I'm just like in a straitjacket in the corner being like, the government, the shadow people, they're trying to steal your passion. If you just live your life and be happy, they can't control you anymore. I'm just sitting there in the corner like Hannibal Lecter with a muzzle on me. Been like, is that real? Or is that just, like my utopia fantasy brain? And my literally making every excuse to not have an office job. Because fuck me if I have an office job. Or have to work in a factory. God damn. Like, if that's your thing, go right ahead. But that's not my thing, so I will not be doing any of that, because if I do, I might go crazy. More so than I already am. I don't need the help of a 9-to-5 corporate machine to drive me crazy. I do that enough on my own, thank you very much. Get a professional animation software and learn it, or do nothing because I'm lazy. Yeah, that is another thing, when you are passionate about creation and projects and whatnot, when you're in school, man, you just, GG's. You're like, oh man, I can't wait till I'm out of school and then I'll have more time to work on my activities. Or work on my projects and my programs, and then the second, man. Whew, I don't want to dash your dreams, Waffles, but you don't, like, even without school, you just will not have the time. The only reason I'm able to do literally any of what I do is because my parents have let me live in their house. I have not moved out. Which, I mean, I get. Not everyone has that situation because, bills do need to be paid. Both my parents are working. And when my dad retires, he's gonna, have the Social Security. Hopefully. Who knows? The government has been skimming off people's Social Security and stealing their money. Politics just ruins everything. You know what? Life would be so much easier if we just didn't have politics. Like, I mean, really, who needs this? Who wants this? Who needs this? If you think about it logistically, if communities just band together on small scales and literally just became self-sufficient, boom. No need for government. Yes, I just Yes, that's an argument for communism. Shut up. I know communism does not work on a wide-scale government you know, for a wide-scale government, because then most of the people just starve. Because communism always just becomes fascism in history. I mean, look it up. That's all it does. But, like, on small scales, on local, small scales, it works. For a time. I don't mean to be busting into the conspiracy theories and whatnot. How many? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. 1, 2, 3, 5. 6. Okay. But aside from watching movie reviews, this is all that has been on my mind for the past month. And it's really just making me wonder what's to be done to fix this. Because, you know, I unfortunately have been cursed with a strong sense of justice. And for the life of me, nothing about anything is actually just. It's just not working. So it's like, what's to be done to fix all this? Oh, I know. Here. This. Well, that's great and all, but the only one who's gonna be willing to do all of that is me, and I don't want to do all that. So it's just, great. Well, I'll just make jokes about, coming into power one day, like I've, you know, been doing. There we go. Maybe I'll just write a killer book about a society that works within the government, frame that I've created in my head. And then people will read that book and be like, yeah, this is what we need. This is the kind of thing that would help our society. And then someone else starts the revolution based on my book. And I'm like, oh. Cheers to you. You did it, you crazy son of a bitch, you did it. I just wrote the book. That's what I'll do. That's the plan. I'll create a world of fiction that operates like this, and then maybe someone would get it done. I think that's what Gene Roddenberry was trying to do with Star Trek. He was trying to create the perfect society, you know, the futuristic society that didn't run on money, that, you know, helped other planets and just was based on exploration and didn't care about, you know, war or violence and whatnot, but then always kind of just became fascism in the end. What's up? Oh. Big dreams. If I just keep going off on who these they people are, you know, like, oh, life would be perfect if just they would get out of the way. But who is this they that we keep referencing in all of our, you know, conspiracy theories and whatnot? Who is this they people? It's like, the government, of course, but then who is the government? The government is people, so the only one standing in the way of making a better life for people is people. So people is the problem. So reject humanity, return to monk. Okay, we need to go back to the primordial soup. We need to make a time machine. And then when the first water creature started to crawl on land, we need to just push him back into the ocean. We just need to push them back into the ocean. Like, no, 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 no. You stay right there. You go. Things in the water are fine. You don't need to go up here. We just need to create. We just need to go back in time. And then somehow have this super gravity beam. And then push the meteorite that destroyed the dinosaurs. Just push it away. Push it off course. We need to save the dinosaurs. That's the only way to fix all of our problems. Just make it so dinosaurs stayed the dominant species on this planet. Problem solved. Or we just need to make contact with aliens and say, get me out of here! I don't care if you just, I'll be your pet. I don't care. Just get me out of here. I don't want to pay taxes for land. I don't want to pay property taxes. Like, of all the billions and the 0.2 billionth of a chance that life formed on this planet, and y'all are stuck with an HOA. Oh, to be a single-celled organism in a primordial volcanic soup. That was good soup. I am really sorry if all this ranting is making y'all uncomfortable. I am so sorry about that. I really should start journaling. Who needs drugs? You just need to be sleep deprived. Okay. I have, like, no backgrounds for this page. Should save first. Okay. Am I just doing flats today? Did I decide I was just doing flats? I think I did. Oh, he's got... Oops. He's got a black nose. Almost for gore. no color here. It's just him. Okay. Him and his beard. Like he's a Don Bluth character. If you don't know what I'm talking about, man, you are missing out. Or just not American. I do keep forgetting that. How the hell do I keep forgetting that not everyone has the same movies? How the hell do I keep forgetting that? Anyway. Don Bluth is a very, pretty famous, even if you don't know him by name, you know his works, especially in America. He's a very famous animator and, character designer. He designed, and I think he also animated a lot of, like, old Steven Spielberg movies. You know, like, American Tail, Five Goes West, Anastasia, Titan AE. And those are, like, just the ones off the top of my head. There are several other Don Bluth films, and he has, like, 2 character designs. The old man with the beard, like that, and, like, a young man with the, you know, split curtain bangs. That's also a bit of an ass. I mean, he can only design 2 characters, but damn it, can he design the hell out of those characters. That's like the running gag with Don Bluth fans. I really like Titan AE. It's Titan AE. If you haven't heard of that film, I highly suggest you watch it. It stands for After Earth. And it's basically in a future... It's a sci-fi futuristic movie, because of course it is, where aliens have blown up planet Earth. Like, that's how the movie starts. That's not a spoiler or anything. That's kind of the plot of the film. Earth blew up, and these aliens tried to wipe out humanity, and so humans have just been drifting in space colonies and been treated like second-class citizens by other aliens. But there is a prophecy of the Titan Project that has the power to create a new planet for humans to live on. So we gotta go find the Titan Project so we can bring humanity back from the brink. But oh no! The aliens that blew up Earth before, they're like the cops. Or like they're the galaxy's superpower, and now they're after our protagonist as well. It's a race against time to go who can get to the Titan Project first. Save the day! It's really good. You know, despite that very mediocre summary, it's a really good movie. Very well animated. Mwah. 2D animated, pencil drawing. Oh, so good. Also with a mix of 3D for the spaceships and the dredge. That's what the aliens are called, the dredge. If you've never seen Titan AE, you have seen the dredge, because like every other alien species that came out after this film can, like, not every other, but like a good majority of, because I'll be watching, you know, like Netflix's Lost in Space, the robot. The way it's originally formed, moves, and kind of looks like in shape, looks like the dredge. And the dredge mothership looks a lot like the Galra ship from Netflix's, again Netflix, I guess people at Netflix are Don Bluth fans, from Voltron. Like in Voltron, the Galra, like the main Galra ship looks like the dredge mothership. So it's like, someone at Netflix is a Don Bluth fan. And I love that for them. But also, can we stop referencing Titan AE and get people to just watch the movie? Because it's really good. It's got Matt Damon in it, of course. Because he's like in every single movie that was in the early 2000s. But if you like give a damn at all about animation and cool story with really solid world building, at least from my memory. And a really good soundtrack, too. Oh my god, the soundtrack is so good. Do we see? No, we don't. Okay. I don't know what's I think I might be flying over my head. Something inside makes me think that I'm in over my head. Ah. Oops. I've also been really sore lately, so my crankiness, I'll just chalk it up to just being sore. There we go. And then she said nothing on her. No. Okay. Hello. Damn. That hurt. Intelligent security guard. Didn't see that coming. I love that movie so much. It's one of the inspirations for some of my own sci-fi stories. Not the inspiration, in fact, the inspiration for my sci-fi stories would be, you know, Aliens from, or by, James Cameron. Totally blanked on his name for a moment there. That was terrible. Say what you will about James Cameron films. His stuff from the 80s, really good. Aliens 2, or like Terminator 2, damn good movies. Oh, you know what's gonna be funny? I was thinking about this earlier, but it's really gonna be funny in summer. I'm mostly gonna be streaming at night and having the window open. So, you know, I can get some cool air in here. So I'm going to be having the light here and the camera there. There's going to be times during summer streams where I'm just going to be swatting a moth away and it's just going to land on the camera and I'm going to be like, hey, get out of here. So if you're watching during summer and that starts happening, get the drinks ready because it's going to be a fun game. Yeah. Yeah, I can do this on the same layer. So long as I'm completely satisfied with how this... Yeah. Now we just carefully. Okay, then we got this mark here. This mark here. How does this work? Because, like, this here never works in practice. Unless I'm not reaching far enough. Which might just be the case. Hang on. Let's fixie. This and, no. Something like that, I guess. My wrist pillow was falling off the desk. Okay. Not the best, but not terrible. It gets the job done. I am so ready. It feels like we just started working on the comic again, and I'm already just so checked out. Oh, but if you're, why don't you just take a break? I can't. I can't just take a break. I have obligations. I've made promises. I have things that need being done. Excuse me. Don't you see? Okay. How long have I been streaming for? Only an hour, okay. I know the style of the comic isn't inherently cartoonish, but when I do get to make these, when I have the opportunity to make these, like, overtly manga-inspired, cartoonish facial expressions, man, does it put a smile on my face. It's like, eee. I love it when they look so, just like evil little cats, whenever they're yelling at each other. So fun. Or getting yelled at. Especially when people are yelling. I'm gonna use 2 layers for this one since these guys are yeah, these characters, they're 2-layer characters. Oh, balls. Okay. Shit. What even is what even is Ivy Whisper's design? Because, like, when his ears are up, they look fine, but most of the time his ears are down because he's so pissed off most of the time. So it's like, why'd I even design it like that? That looks so stupid. What is going on? It's funny, but it does also have me questioning my abilities as a artist and as an artist and character designer. There we go. So I'm just sitting here like, yeah, like I have the audacity to call myself a professional. Just because you've been doing it all your life does not make you a professional. I am self-taught. Anyway, I think by legal definition, you are a professional when you have training and have made it into a profession, meaning like you're making money. Which it all leads back to. Why is it when something happens, it's always you 3? Just insurance, income, taxes. It's always you 3. I am out of coffee. Oh my god. I didn't stream Monday because I was really feeling like crap. But this stream is gonna go up on my VOD channel on Thursday. Hi VOD. Hi YouTube chat. If you've made it this far into the stream and you're still listening, type oh, what's a good indicator? Type yada yada into the comment section if you've made it this far into the VOD. Something to do with yada yada. There we go. Spell it however you like. I don't think there's any correct or incorrect spelling. I got my hair in my eye and it's making me go blind. Yada yada and then crickets. That's usually how my streams go. I am either ranting and raving about how much everything sucks and how it'd be so much better if blah de blah and blah de blah didn't happen, or crickets. But it's not all complaining. At least I hope to God my stream isn't all complaining, even though that's what it feels like all the time. My dropper wasn't working. Oh man. Stretch break. If only my body didn't feel like it was falling apart, like, all the time. Or at the very least on a regular basis. It'd be over for you hoes. The second I can afford therapy, it's over for y'all. Oh, to be able to afford basic health care. You know, it's funny, like, everybody has every right to complain and bitch about their life. Y'all, we have every right, but at the same time, to the outside, it is very annoying to listen to. I know, because I also have a lot of chronic complainers in my life. I am one of them. And I'm just, oh my god, how do people even tolerate me? I sure wouldn't. Y'all are saints. But then again, yeah, another thing is also going on that's like, you know what? Completely out of my control. I know how this thing affects me, and you know what? I shouldn't really live stream when this is going on, but at the same time, it's like, I haven't streamed in a good while. And when I'm not streaming, all I'm doing is sort of working on projects while just scrolling through YouTube trying to find something to listen to while I work. So all I do is just find... It's a whole thing, and it's not healthy at all. Excuse me. So streaming just kind of forces me to just sit down and, you know, and just lock in. Even if I'm, you know, I'm just chatting most of the time or just sitting here in a complete silence, hey, at least work is being done. Slowly, but it's getting done. Because I know, oh my god, I'm slouching. I need to fix this up. Sorry. My back. Sounds like pop rocks. Yeah. There we go. Alright, who is... Okay, Rain is next. I should plan more for Rain's character. Because I really like his design. I mean, I do have plans for the kittens, but like, there's 5 of them, and I already have like 8 other characters to work with. So adding the kits are just going to be a plot device for a while before, you know, once they become apprentices, then, you know, we can shift into their story. And I do hope I come up with something to do with these guys, because especially I know Fawn Kit and Black Kit are going to have something, spoilers, with their characters. I just hope I can figure out something for the boys, because like the girls got it, the boys not so much. It's like, okay, I need to come up with something. It doesn't have to be spectacular, just something for them to be doing while their sisters are, you know, running around being, you know, the plot. Yep. Oh, okay, so from here it's this. That. There we go. He's got a pink nose. So that, yeah. Separates the muzzle from the nose. Does this work? Yes, it does. Oh, and mouth thing. Oh, he's not at, okay, yeah, he's got his mouth open more. Oh my god. Work, please. Yeah, he's gritting his teeth. He's not. Okay, now for, Bark, who is a big boy. Up to here, there, there. Okay. Light, 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 light. Left, right, left, left. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. 'Cause where there's a whip, there's a left, left, left. If you haven't seen the animated version of Lord of the Rings, like the animated adventure, you are in for a treat, because that would be... It being animated is a blessing and a detriment, because oh my god, is it goofy. but it is closer to Tolkien's original vision. Like, the Peter Jackson films are great, but the animated series is more of a faithful adaptation, and I won't say it's 100%, but it is more faithful to the original book. So if you want to get like a vibe of what the books were about, but like either can't find the book for some reason, or can't find the book, or for some reason don't have the time to read it yourself or listen to the audiobook, then the animated series is quite fascinating. And it's also a musical. So, yippee! Oh, whoops, I forgot that was the same layer. My bad, G. Okay, the light needs to get smooched. But not his stripes. You know what's cute? I already have warrior names for them, sort of, except Rain. Rain is the only one where I really had to reconsider his warrior name, because originally his name was Spring, because he had more of a he had more leafy green eyes. So I'm like, oh, Spring, you know, like the season. But then I remembered, oh, wait a minute, Warriors doesn't have that type of doesn't have that word. They don't have the word for spring. They call it new leaf. And I'm like, oh damn. Rain, I guess. I don't know. So I kind of had to scramble for him. Everyone else has the same names they did when from the original concepts. They still have the same names. Except Rain. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Cause where there's a whip, there's a way. Black, right, black. Because of my ADHD, and I didn't know this, but I watched a video talking about how streaming is considered a, excuse me, I bumped the mic. Streaming is considered a creative act, and doing two creative acts at once is, you know, it causes your brain to cycle through loops of trains of the, it causes your train of thought to just loop until you until something draws you out of it. That's why drawing and talking is so hard for some people, especially, you know, people with ADHD, because your mind is already moving a mile a minute. So when you're trying to draw and talk and think about your bit rate and read chat and, you know, come up with things to engage with. Now, it is slightly easier for me when I have more people in the chat, because then I can just read what they're saying, respond to it, go back to the drawing on, like, whatever, something they brought up, sparked an idea. I talk, chat, and then something that stands out to me, I'll read. Out loud, you know, like everyone else. So it is slightly easier with it's so funny. It's easier for me to live stream when there's more going on, because now usually I'm used, you know, I should be used to having, you know, kind of quiet lurkers from now on, or people like watching after the fact. So there's no chat engagement when you're watching after the fact. Come on, okay. But it still is difficult to, like, talk to air in a way that is cohesive, concise, and isn't just me repeating song lyrics, because when I'm trying to do something creative and my brain is trying to go into autopilot so I can focus on what I'm creating, it just goes to song lyrics. I just, you know, music. And not like singing the full song, because I'll get random ass, stupid ass, like Schoolhouse Rock songs stuck on my head. And I'm just, why are you here? I don't want you here. Please go away. But, guess who's here forever, bitches? It has been such a long time since I've colored Splashpaw, I almost forgot what he looked like. That's why drawing him looked so weird in these next few pages. I genuinely forgot how to draw him. So, like, if you're want to be a live streamer or like a startup streamer and you're self-conscious about not knowing what to talk about, or, you know, your mind literally stuck in a feedback loop, it's normal for people, for like neurodivergent people. There are ways out of it. I just, for the life of me, can't remember any of the proper coping mechanisms I need to use. That's the problem with doing research about your own mental health. You're like, okay, remember? It's like, I'm doing this thing. I know I read advice about this, but for the life of me, I can't remember what the hell that advice was. I just remember that I did the research. You know, that I was told that this was normal. So it's like, okay, how do I stop it? Brain forgot. That's the problem with having a brain issue. All your memories and information are also stored there as well. So when brain forget how brain's supposed to work, how to fix it, I need a caretaker. I'm not a mentally disabled person, but for the life of me, I can't function. I can physically take care of myself sometimes. You know, I know how to cook. I remember half the time. Wait a cotton picking moment. Yes. Okay. Excuse me. down here, I might as well as do these guys, which is that. Into this. Almost forgot for a moment. And this, so that, and that's good. Oh, wait. I don't know if this is, like, if these kinds of streams are boring to people, but, like, when they are, I'm honestly completely fine with an artist who's in the, focus mode that's like... Okay, so if we do some of... Whoops. If we do this... I'll just fix it later. This... That... Wait. Yeah. Like, I'm completely fine with artists that are doing that because, you know, I mean... I get stuck in that feedback loop too. As obviously seen. Because then, you know, I feel less guilty. More or less guilty. As a chatter. Because then I can just start, you know, chit-chatting away. But then I do know it is kind of distracting. But then again... If you start live streaming with the intention of, yes, this will help me focus and work faster. Unless your shtick is no mic, just vibes, zero chatting, like no engagement with chat, then maybe. But then again, like, you're not gonna get as many consistent viewers if that is your dealio. Because I was sitting in with a live streamer before I really understood, you know, like, not understood, like, I understood what live streaming was, but, like, the thought had not occurred to me that live streaming means you can chat with the artist. Because, like, some live streams I would sit on, and they would just be drawing while having their friend's chat box, like, up in the corner, and they'd be, like, drawing, and then I'd hear their keyboard. You know, they'd just be doing that the entire stream. No talking, no webcam, music in the background, maybe some humming, and I'm like, okay. Is this what live streaming is? Okay, I mean, I don't hate that. But then, like, I found other live streamers and I'm like, oh my god, you can talk to people. Holy shit. Because for the most part, I don't mind, you know, yakking people's ears off. When I'm streaming, for the most part, I you know, I don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. Like, if you watch my first live stream ever on my YouTube channel, I'm just non-stop talking. Then again, my voice did hurt really bad the next day, and I had my my sister with me, and we were talking to each other, kinda, because I was working on my first Hydra. And that's when I decided, working on concept art while live streaming is really difficult. And eventually I stopped doing it. It's like, you know what? If it's line art and simple coloring, then we can live stream it. Everything else is just too damn difficult. Oh. No, that's fine. I also have a lot of vocal stems. Oh, excuse me. then I'm not sure, like, I'm always self-conscious and worried that people are just gonna find me annoying, because, like, when I first start stream and whatnot, I see the viewer count, and I can, and when I had my stream up there, I could see the viewer count come up, and then drop, immediately, with no engagement. It's like, oh, they left, they thought I was boring, they thought I was annoying, oh no, it's like, you know what, whatever. Whatever. Some people just like things in the background so that they can work on their own thing. Or, you know, like fold laundry. Heaven forbid someone listens to a live stream and folds laundry. You know, I do it all the time. Actually, I used to. I don't so much anymore, because I was trying to, because then I'm just, like, listening to the live stream, and, like, when I'm folding laundry, that is my quiet time. Sometimes I'll be thinking of, like, stories and whatnot, and I'll be, like, working out the dialogue in my head. But laundry time is quiet time, because it's kind of cathartic, you know, just it's the act of organizing. I've said this before on stream. The act of organizing is very cathartic to me. So that's what I need. I need quiet. That is when I find peace. I heard this one comedian say that women don't a woman will never give you peace because she doesn't know what peace is. Because anytime you ask a woman to describe peace, she just describes happiness. I was like, okay, I mean, maybe in your experience and like the general consensus that women talk a lot and don't understand what it means to just sit with someone and do nothing. And I'm sitting here like, buddy, that's my love language. What are you talking about? What do you mean, oh, women don't know this? But also, you know, like, not like other girls. Ugh. But I think that's a lot of men's problems. They look for peace and they look for peace in other people. Same thing with some, you know, if to go on his logic on women's problems. They look for happiness in other people. Not first making it in themselves. Or with themselves. I am an introvert, so I am 90%, and I say 90 because there are some times where, because it's so weird. I'm an introvert through and through. I get most of my recharge when I am, you know, by myself. I need my me time, my alone time. But I also, in a way, have separation anxiety. Not quite as bad as some of the dogs that we've had, but close enough. Where I also have a lot of fear of abandonment and being left behind and whatnot. So when I'm left alone, I'm just, oh god. And especially when it precedes the, when it exceeds the perceived, like, normal time allotted for people to be out of the house. Be like, okay, she left at 10. It takes an hour to get anywhere. And it takes at least 2 hours shopping, and then an hour back. It's been 6 hours. Where are they? Oh god, did something happen and they can't reach me for whatever reason. I'm much better with it now than I was. And it was never like a debilitating problem, but it was always like in the back of my mind. I was always afraid something had gone wrong, like heaven forbid, like they get into a car accident or something. And then when they do get home from like shopping and whatnot, they're like, oh yeah, nothing bad happened. We just stopped for dinner. It's like, oh, okay, you stopped for dinner. Whew. Where's my fries? And then they're like, here you go. I'm just gonna say that's the bottom. Okay. No, that goes straight to there. I should probably drink this before I spill it. Props to y'all if you've made it this far in the live stream and or VOD. As soon as I finish the flats for this page, I think I'm going to end stream. Because I need to get lunch, and there's also some things I need to do. And there's some chores that need to be done. And some baking. Whatever. I don't hate baking. It's just I'm always asked to bake one type of thing. Like, just the one recipe. To the point where I don't even need to crack open the book anymore. I just have it memorized. Not out of any active attempt at memorization. No, I've just made it so often. I'm like, you know what? Okay. 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of flour, 2 eggs, mix, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, not powder. The recipe calls for the baking soda to be dissolved in 3 tablespoons of hot water, but I've done the recipe both with the water and without the water. It turns out exactly the same. So, I guess it depends on elevation. Alright, mixy mix. Add 1 cup of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, mix, add 3 mashed bananas. I also add cinnamon at this point with the bananas because I think cinnamon and bananas taste well together. Give that a good old mix, add the rest, another cup of flour. It calls for 2 cups of flour, but split it. And, your 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I always also add that in with the bananas. 1 more cup of 2 cups of flour, and 1 cup of chocolate chips. Now you've made the base recipe for banana bread. It can also be made into muffins, but all you have to do is... Okay, for the banana bread, it is $3.75 for 45 minutes in a loaf pan or in the loaf tins. To make it muffins, it's just 25 minutes. Same temperature, you just half the time. And there you go. That's the recipe that I am always asked to make on the regular, at least twice a month. I'm fine with baking y'all treats, and I'm glad you like it, but we have an entire recipe book of other things. But I don't bake unless someone has asked me to do it, and when I do bake without someone asking me to do it, I always make something half the house doesn't like or won't eat. So I was like, oh yeah, we like it. I mean, we'll eat it. So, no, I was like, so how'd you guys like that new recipe I tried? And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, we'll eat it. But how did you like it? Hello? Just Pokemon. I haven't played Pokemon or Pokemon Go in so long. I don't think I've opened the app in a good while. Ever since I got my Goodra, I was like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need any more. I didn't catch them all, but I caught all the ones I wanted because they still haven't added Mimikyu. Still mad about that. Who are we? Okay. That's that irrational fear of stream dying without me looking. Always that irrational. Oh, and her back. There. I'm not feeling burnout because I know what burnout is. I still have plenty of creative ideas. I'm just tired in the way that I feel like I don't know how to describe this because it's not burnout. I'm not running out of steam. I'm not running out of ideas. Never that. Ideas are the easiest part of the creative process. I haven't sat down and watched a movie in like a long time. I haven't had I haven't had a guilt-free nothing day. I've definitely had several nothing days, like Tuesday, not yesterday, Monday. That was a nothing day. I felt so terrible. I still had my computer on, I was still at my desk, I was still in work mode, but not a damn thing was going on. And it makes, I feel really guilty about that. And, I haven't had a guilt-free day off. Definitely have off days, but not days off, if you know what I mean. Nope, that's not the right one. I don't think she... No, yeah. Yeah, okay. Did I even do the lights down here? Yeah, I did. Na 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 na, the motherfucker. Na 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 na, the motherfucker. I don't think you meant to hurt me. I don't think you meant to think at all. I don't know why, but Sunday, that song, All to You from Hell of a Boss, was going through my head for no reason. I like max volume and I'm like, okay, this is fine because I'm doing physical menial labor. I was doing some yard work. And I'm like, okay, this is like a weird song to have stuck in my head with almost none of the lyrics being remembered properly. Also, you know, it was a good distraction from the hurtful fake scenarios that were also running through my head. God, I have so many hurtful fake scenarios that just ruin my life. What if, wow, makes me burn. I don't think you meant to hurt me. I don't think you meant to think at all. Say what you will about Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss and everything in between. The music is really freaking catchy on both shows. Oh god, I just remembered. Next month we're getting a new Amazing Digital Circus episode. Oh my. Oh my. This is gonna be a doozy. I can feel the dooziness that is headed our way. Oh my god, this next episode is either going to suck, not in a bad way, but like emotionally, it's gonna suck for the characters, or it's going to really, really dig deep into the dark humor that the show has. It's like, oh please, I don't know which one I want more, but I want one of those things to happen. Either one of those would be great. Or something completely different, because I know there's at least 2 or 3 more episodes that we're getting. I don't remember. I think we're at least getting 9. I don't recall. Either way, it's going to be fun. Anyway. Okay, yeah, that's covered. That was mostly just Hotstar. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. That is all the flats I have ready. See, that's the thing. I have plenty. How many episodes do I have? Episodes. God, how many pages? I have 20 pages more to do, and then we are done with this year's batch. Which is still a lot of work, and it's at least another month's worth of work. If I relegate it to the live streaming. Now, if I just spend like a weekend or some of my off streaming days and just go crazy, then it'll be done a lot faster. But if I'm done with the pages, what am I going to be doing live stream wise until July? I gotta keep building momentum, because July is usually when I have like more, or at least hope to have more viewers, you know, because it's Art Fight. And then August I can take off. But July I need to keep building momentum. Keep building momentum, because then when July hits, I have the regulars and the new guys that can all interact with, you know, and create their own engagement. Oh, I need to do her claws. Oops, I need to do her claws. Most of this, I don't know what time of day this is going to be taking place. I think like evening or something, because the next few pages are going to be at night. So, oof, I should figure that out. What time of day is this supposed to be? Okay, that's that. Let me bring this up. I need to finish some of these pages, because their sketches aren't very well mapped out. Like, I know what's going on, but when I try to transfer it to the big pages, I'm gonna have to do a lot of legwork. Stop hitting at your face. And then I have 10. I have these. These are 10. At least almost 10 pages fully thumbnailed, and then I have 10 more pages that I need to thumbnail, and then at least the thumbs are done. And then I can, because like the scripting is done for this year, and then, you know, I can like keep gradually adding more until like December rolls around. That's when I'll get really back into writing, so that when January comes, like most of the scripting's done. If I at least can get all the thumbnails done for these pages, they're done. So all I need to do is then just do them. You know, like get in with the line art, because then that's more streamlined. Once I figure out the sketching, once the sketch is done and the line art, you know, can come underway, that's when the rest of this is pretty much streamlined, and it doesn't take like 100% of my brain power to figure out what the hell I'm doing, you know? But until then, I'm gonna get started on, should I, you know what? You know what? Let's do that. We can do that now. I've only been streaming, 2 hours? Yeah. This will be page 60. Page 260. And then we gotta... Well, there we go. There we go. Slight, spoilers for what's to come. With no context. Usually when I'm doing this, I also do the text and like the dialogue for the pages, but that is actually really boring to do on stream. So I think I'll do not that and then just come back and okay, I'll just say P 260. Save as. Okay. Now we delete. And then we move on. Page 261. Copy. Paste. I know this sequence of prophecy is very, shall we say, I don't want to say hand-fisted. It's it's on the nose. It is very much on the nose, and I realize it's on the nose, but at the same time, that is completely in line with the regular prophecies that happen in Warriors, so we're not breaking any bylaws by having a either obscure as hell prophecy or a prophecy that is so on the nose, it's like, how is there even a mystery involved? It's really funny. I love being a Warriors fan. Everything's... I don't want to say everything is stupid, but it's pretty much, you know... I will argue with anyone tooth and nail saying, oh, kids, entertainment is you know, is supposed to be stupid and obvious and whatnot, and I'll fight anyone who says that. But when it comes to Warriors, I tend to agree. The writing is very simple. I still enjoy it. As I almost said the meanest thing about myself, you know. I don't know if this, if page 263 is going to work at all. But, maybe I'll figure something out. Because usually I've had, a few abstract illustrations passing as pages before, so maybe I'll come up with something cool. Who knows? In my head, I can picture it, but what I picture in my head usually isn't exactly what ends up being created. So, we'll just, I'm gonna move the mic back here. Sorry if I'm a lot quieter. But I need the room. Okay, it's saved. Delete this, that, next set of pages. I'll just come back after stream, after chores and whatnot, and then do the lettering and finalizing the layout. Because that's also, it's not a boring part, it is actually, I'm pretty sure there's an audience for it, of people like, okay, how do you, format the text? Trying to fit. And that's where I have the most, struggle, or I struggle so much, because I'm a writer, man. If that character's gonna have a dialogue, they're gonna have dialogue, damn it. But at the same time, it's like, oof. Oof, oof, oof. How do I fix that with the drawings? Because it's like, how do I fit the dialogue and the drawing in the same frame when I'm imagining an animation going on? Kind of where text goes. Ugh. That is the hardest part of comics for me. Not character design, layout is still really hard. Not, line art, not dialogue, not the writing, not even the backgrounds. Backgrounds are peanuts compared to trying to figure out where the fuck to put all this dialogue with the drawings. Especially since I had a limited amount of pages because I need to hit a hiatus. I can't have a hiatus on a cliffhanger, with no, that's the end of the chapter. You know what I just realized? At the rate of which the story is going, eventually I'm going to hit page 666. And I don't know what I'm going to do for that page. Hopefully, I'll come up with something. Or do nothing. Who knows? Remember to drink more water, guys. My throat's starting to hurt. Did I just... I did. Already. Okay. It's probably going to happen, because by the time this story ends, I'll be in page, like, 300 or something like that. And this is part 1, so by the time part 2 rolls around, I'll be closing in on page 666. Who knows what the story will be by then. I have a general trajectory of which the story is headed. It's just the exact logistics are still being worked out. Yeah, I'm gonna copy paste this one as well, even though it's not finished, because I'm gonna have to see what the entire page looks like in full scale, because I'm having a hard time thumbnailing these action shots, because I'm not sure what's all gonna fit. You know, and I'm having to squeeze in so much of these pages. Now, the fact of having, you know, set hiatuses is slightly detrimental to the writing and flow of some of the pages, because there are some pages that, you know, that I've created that are literally just 2 panels of nothing, because I wanted to have certain things happen on certain pages. You know, like, I wanted page 100 to be something special. Same with, like, page 200. I wanted that to be its own special thing, so I, like, had to stretch and move around some story beats so it could be, like... it could be its... Like, you know, getting to 100 comic pages is no simple feat, and I'm at currently closing in on 270. I mean, this is page 269. And I've been working on this comic for like 4 years. 2.5, 200... 250 pages in 4 years. Wow. Now, granted, that was not full years. If you split it more accurately, that was only 2 years, 2.5 years of working on the comic, because I've only worked on it for like half the year. To be a more accurate depiction of how time, that's the wrong one, how time is working with and against me on comic pages, because I'm almost 30 and I still haven't published a single book. So I've been working on this. This takes a lot of my time, but it's something I can do by myself. Sort of. Okay. Oi. Thank you. Oh, come back and do the dialogue after stream. Anyway. I'm gonna end it here, guys, because good golly Miss Molly, am I hungry and I have chores and I got baking to do. So, for the live stream, thank you all so much for watching. For the future VOD, also as well, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the VOD channel. I also have a main YouTube channel that is also just Runelol, where I may or may not in the future be making a video, topic videos, where I also stream on YouTube every Friday and sometimes here on Twitch. Ugh. All my social media links are in the description, in the about page. Basically, everywhere I post, you can find my other places. And if you're interested in the comic, it is posted every Tuesday and Thursday on DeviantArt, with all the pages linked. I don't post on official comic websites, mostly because this is, this is a fan comic, so I don't really own any of the copyright, because it kind of is, infringement. And I know this isn't really formatted as a regular web comic. Fully acknowledge that. But like most things in life, I honestly don't really give a darn on what the general masses say is allowed or isn't allowed, because I'm gonna make my stories, damn it, any way I see fit. Even at the cost of my own sanity, especially at the cost of my own sanity, I can get that back easy just by sitting in darkness. Because I work on amnesia rules. Anyway, I'm hungry. So, yeah. Today's Wednesday, so I will see you on YouTube every Friday. And this is going to be posted on a Thursday. Yep. So, bye-bye.